Welcome again, you all, to another video. All right, welcome again, the heirs of our father's promise. All right, you guys know that this is a topic that I always cover all the time. All right, but thank you again for joining me today. For if it's not me, of course, it's Christ. We're going to be talking about Yahusha, and him, Yahuwah, Elohim, Adonai, okay? Because why? The truth is very important, and we need to get to the bottom of this. And I got something very, very good for you guys here today. And, besides the extra stuff like extra stuff that I got here, but that I normally talk about, but I got some extra actually let me stop. But I got some good stuff here for you guys today. And these things are going to matter a lot. And the reason why it's going to matter a lot is because we got to get to the bottom as to why people are acting the way they are, especially in our modern time and society. Okay? Because if we don't get to the bottom of this, because a lot of people are aware, but they don't really know, they're gonna keep repeating the same cycle because a lot of the stuff has to meet conditions in order for it to be taken, and you have to take them literal, not non-literal, because I don't know what else for you to think, for you to think of it, but we are here and we're gonna hop on this rocket, and we're gonna rocketeer. Okay, what was that little Einstein song? Climb aboard, get ready to explode. We gon' soar the sky, little Einstein, little Einstein. Da-na-na-na. I don't remember. I don't remember all of it like that. But that used to be my show though. Little drink break. Give me one moment. Mm. All right. But enough of me. Let's talk more about the chapter that we're gonna be in. First, the title, the end of what? Seduction in many and all. So you already can tell the theory of why we got to talk about this specific case, a scenario. Okay, so we're gonna be in Revelation chapter 18. All right, all right, all right. We're gonna be in Revelation chapter 18, and we're gonna start from 1 and go all the way to 24. All right. So bear with me. Give you guys about 10 seconds to grab your biblioteca, your Bible, and let us run this thing up. I'm not going to be here for that long either. So the faster you guys grab your Bibles, the easier and the faster I will be, and get right to the topic. But we of course we got to read the whole thing. Let's get started. It's been more than 10 seconds. I'm not going to do the same thing like last time. And after these things, I saw another angel came down from heaven, and having great power, and the earth was lighting with his glory. Now, in the previous chapter, before we even do all of this, the previous chapter was talking about basically the calamity, or how basically the seven angels and the representation of them, and how they, talked, well, how they impacted the world, and plus the beast, and how many heads the beast have, and the control that the beast have. Okay, but we're gonna go to verse 2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Now, Babylon is not just the United States; it's basically the countermeasures of any nation that is under the, what is the word? What's the word? It's under governance, right? Of the, forgive me, of the major, or the majority of the actual, spirits, demons, devils, Satan's, Lucifer's, right? That have been what? Controlling these nations under a specific type of what? Magic, right? For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Do you know why it says that? And you know why they personify her as, the ruler of Babylon is because of what as the title, seduction. Men can be seductive, but it's also more of a feminine trait. If you get what I'm saying, and we're gonna get to the bottom of that more so in the later chat verses, and they basically saying a lot of the men, like I said, women, right? As far as who they're referencing to, because if I did not actually define what I was saying, that might have been a terrible thing. And we're not here to inflict nobody, just to show a little bit of love and an abundance of love, and just be truthful, okay? And women, please stop being seductive and showing your skin around the wrong people. Show it to your man, your husband. Matter of fact, let me say that. But we're going to get to that actual word too itself. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, forgive me, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues." So she's going to be burned. And we're going to see that they are all scared. Everybody that made a contract, that made some type of covenant with her, they're all going to catch that. And they were all worried because they no longer have power to be able to continue in the process and in the path of which they chose. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God has remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works in the cup which she had filled, right? Filled to her double. She was greedy. She was greedy. She had it all. She had it all. Forgive me. She had it all. She had it all. Okay? She had it all. And she got greedy. This is what happens when you have pride, because we're going to see exactly why. How much she had, how much she had glorified herself and lived deliciously. It was they say deliciously, but the luxury, right, of her lifestyle. So much torment and sorrow give her, for she hath what she saith in her heart. I sit a queen, and now and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Like I said, pride. She had it all. I'm pretty sure in the old times she was given some type of, what's the word? Je ne sais quoi. Comment je peux dire? I mean, um, how can I say this? She was given some type of proposition, right? A redemption. I'm pretty sure because a lot of them were given some type of option for redemption. Okay, but they chose it not. And what happens over time with pride? You grow ego, and that ego just sticks. It becomes something very trifling, something very, you feel me? Like just gotta throw up. Okay. Verse 8. Let's continue. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord who for the Lord God who judgeth her. And remember, if you haven't watched my previous videos, words for words, matter. So if you haven't watched my videos, I'm talking about the previous, the early on videos, because sometimes I feel like a lot of you are not really understanding when I say previous. You guys are thinking like it's just the no, previous videos, the early on videos where I was speaking about certain things, and I had to stop using certain words because I realized that it wasn't helping me really describing or breaking down information in a sense where you guys can understand that way. I had to somewhat start adjusting my attributes, and I will start actually putting some of the contents tables of things like here or like right here and stuff like that as I'm speaking, so you know exactly what I'm referencing. All right, verse 9. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously luxuriously in a lifestyle, right? With her shall bewail her and lament for her. When they shall see the smoke of her burning, they're going to be feared. They're going to have this type of feeling of pain. Okay? Because one, first, their business is going to go down. Bazinga. And second, they fell in love with her. But they did not really know what love was. They just was loyal. And they were fearful. Because they made a covenant with her. Majority of them. If not all. Right? Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alice, Alice, that great city Babylon had, that great city Babylon, my city, mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall sweep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth either merchandises any more. So don don don, everything went crumbling down. No more trades. And that's the best way to say these exchanges. Okay, for a lot of you out here that are business owners, please take mind to the please take heed to these words. They're very urgent, because a lot of you are going to lose a lot of your prized possessions that are physical, meaning that money, that gold, as we're talking in the next verse, which says what? Merchandises anymore, right? It says, and the merchandises and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandises anymore. So all of the things that were her related, seductively related, all of the things that had no purpose of any type of upliftment in the spirit and of truth will no longer have any value, because when you destroy the main enterprise, the empire, what else gonna come crumbling? The vaults, right? The exchanges of all of the things that hold its power, right? Because you don't destroy a nation from the outside, but from within. Okay. For anybody, for any of my chess players out here, please put in the comments. Um, the merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk scarlet, and all thy wood and all manner vessels of ivory and all manner vessels of most precious wood and brass, iron and marble. Basically, all of the luxurious. Oh my goodness, my English. Luxurious. Basically, what's the word? What's the best word to use? Craftsmanship, right? Luxurious craftsmanship of a lifestyle that people are making out here that is just looking so seductive, so good that like it makes you want to go and get it. Seduction is not just sexual. It's also something that can be pleasing to the eye, but not necessarily necessary, or not necessarily a necessity of actual living or survival of your life, right? But we fight for it all the time, which makes no sense. And we're gonna skip that part because it's gonna talk about food and all of that things, because you then basically became a slave. And in verse 14 is gonna say that they're no longer gonna find any vegetations that even desire, that anything that they desired that they've made and they basically defiled, right? They're no longer going to have access to any of these materials and resources. All of these things are going to deplenish, right? It's going to go extinct like one of these dinosaurs out here, of course, dinosaurs, right? So anybody that knows exactly how I speak and how I do things, right, you're going to go and do your research. All right. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar up for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, Alice, Alice, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. Wow, she's burning. There where they're talking about my clothes, my stuff, my building, my car, my money, my money. Why all of these things are going to be destroyed? My money. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. And every shipmaster and all the company, well, this is going to talk about the exchanges and how they're going to be crying, verse 17 and verse 18 is going to be saying the same thing, as they're going to be watching the city burn and all of the things that they're going to get. And verse 19 is basically going to talk about what the riches and the costliness of basically how they basically built all of the stuff that they built, and the time that it took, and what is worth to them, which now is being desolated, right? And we're going to go straight to verse 12, right? I mean 21. And the mighty angel, this is John speaking, by the way. And the mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea. Now, millstone is some type of. Have you ever seen one of them old villages that had a pillage that's circular, or has some type of oval shape, and they start it's like a cycle where they got the little thing and they start turning it around and it's crushing, mushing things like fruits and vegetables or even rocks, right? All of those things. It can even be used for time as well, right? A millstone. An angel launched that at Babylon. Now, I want you to think about this. There have been a lot of things that has been discovered underneath the cities of these capitals. And I'm not just saying the United States. Just know what capital means. Okay? A lot of great treasures have been. Now, mind you, I remember early in this video, I said there are a lot of conditions that have to be met. So if you know what I'm talking about and what I'm going to give you at the end, you do your research. Okay? Because me telling you is basically me feeding it to you, but then you have to digest these things, and you have to be willing to also digest these informations properly. And then once you guys make comments about what you understand, you put in a comment, and I will be able to help you. And remember, everything that I'm giving you guys here is for free. Everything of my Father was given to me for free, so I'm not going to charge you for anything that is given unto me for free, right? Because it's my job as a person, as an heir of my Father's promise, to make sure that every last one of you understands something that a lot of churches, a lot of preachers, ministers, evangelists are not willing to sit down, but also to only follow what they've been instructed as kids. So yes, you can only be a steward, right? Only based upon the ideology of what you're being taught. So when you are open to information, you are able to digest, and your mind starts to sink in when you seek truth. It's not just a singular thought. It's not just a philosophy or an indoctrination. It's exactly what the truth is, because everything has to make purpose. Everything has sense. So if everything makes sense and it has purpose, why would it not be logical? Why would it not be sound? Because everything was made out of sound from the beginning anyways. Okay, let's continue. And a voice. Well, this is going to be talking about how the angels, verse 22 is going to talk about how the angels basically saw the downfall of Babylon, and they rejoiced about it, and how the angels and the musical artifacts and all of the things they've done came into play, and how they rejoiced, and it was heard all over heaven. Okay, let's go to verse 23. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of a bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. Now, a lot of people misconceive this. They say that there will be no more marriage once we are renewed. Now, that could be a perception, that could be true, but it's not in the concept of what you understand. We're going to be giving you bodies. Now, mind you, love is in the persona of identifying who makes you happy, what makes you happy, right? And it's in the it's in the interpretation, right, of the objective of what love is and what it means and it defines. So we will no longer have the urge of lust, but to procreate will need to be an extreme an extremity. That's why it said this. And the light of a candle, meaning when somebody says what? A light of a candle, the urge of lust will no longer be in us, meaning the defilement of evil will no longer be necessary, because sex is not just sex. It's not just, oh, I feel horny and I want to have sex, or just do some weird stuff, nasty stuff, to whatever you guys' preferences and stuff is, right? Um, It's also healing. It's understanding. All of these things very much matter, because when you're just having sex and you're just doing whatever that you're doing, I had to make the sound because there's nothing else for me to just say repetitively, right? I'm just gonna be a brute about it, just saying that. But right, when you're just doing right, it's an instant thing, meaning there's no gratification. You might intend a kid here and there when it's necessary, but at the same time, you just took a load off. Understand that it's also a mental thing, it's an emotional thing. So a lot of us guys, we feel like, oh, we need to have sex all the time because it's, a woman is there and is present and willing to do something with us. No, bro. The reason why some men are being disrespected by women is because they're making themselves easy to have sex with, because you don't know restraint. You become like a pet, because now it took control over you and you have no longer any type of restraint over your boundaries and your respect. And the same thing for you women, because I know some of you women is going to be like, oh no, we don't always think that way. Stop talking, please. We're not here to be genderizing one section of people. We're here to be equal. So if I'm going to say this to the men, I'm not saying it for the men for their own self. I'm saying it for the better of themselves, for you. So you also have to take responsibility on your own actions as well. Make sure that everything that is in this world is understood for the sense of what is understood. Like the same way people smoke marijuana. People smoke marijuana because they feel like it's putting them on ease when they're stressed out. So understand that when it's a herb and it's a medicine, it's supposed to be used as a herb and a medicine. It's not supposed to be used as a daily abuse. So a lot of you that said that yes, you're good for smoking if it's either tobacco or marijuana. No, it shouldn't even be an option if Christ is your savior. It shouldn't. When you know the truth, you know exactly why. And you will know exactly why I'm saying these things, because everything has a spirit. And that spirit is what? When you know the definition of spirit, it's not just a ghost, it's the image of something that has a purpose. So the effect of what could possibly be. So if you give something an image, if you give something a purpose, it then becomes something in reality. It has an actual effect and it can literally take a hold of you. You say that, oh, I feel a little tired. You get tired. You get work. You get even much more slump in a situation where you feel energyless because you spoke those things to yourself. People talk about affirm your words, make words of affirmation. Yes, do that. So if you're able to understand that, do that and apply it to yourself. Because I have something very important for you, for a lot of us that are kind of new. But we're gonna finish with the last verse, right, which is 20 to 24. And in her was found the blood of prophets and saints and of all that were slain upon the earth. So she was known for what? Bewitching people. She was known for what? What is bewitching? Isn't that known to be a spirit of Jezebel? Isn't that known to be an incubus, a succubus, and all of these things? A fluid spirit, a spirit of the water, because that's what Alice was. And a lot of people don't really read or notice any of the movies that they watch. Any of the movies that they watch, like The Little Mermaid, for example, right? I'm not really a big fan of these Disney pixels, right? But of course, I didn't watch some stuff, had kids that that I was that I'm family with, and I was a kid myself, so I like DreamWorks a lot too. I like sometimes the animation. Don't get me on me. Don't get on me before we get to talking about real stuff here, but I had to do my research on this. Now I want you, when you hear the word Alice, right? ALAS, right? And you think about the word Atlas. I want you to do your research on that. Now, the word Ursula, right? When you watch The Little Mermaid, right? Or is it Ursula? However you pronounce it. You spell the word Ursula backwards. Urlsula. Mind you, Elsa, right, especially in the Bible, right, is personified as a what? As a woman, a seductive spirit of the marine. So a lot of seduction comes from the marine kingdom. For a lot of people that are not aware of it, that's why when you see a lot of these dresses, all of these scales, all of these golden this and that shining on dresses, on these men's watches, on these things that are not very known to actual what? Humility. These things are shown because even in here it says that it was gold, it was purple, it was all of these bright colors that attracted people. And this is exactly what's going on in our time and era. We are attracted by the things and the colors. So when people are talking about these rainbow activists, right? These rainbow activities that's going on right now in our time and era, right? Why do you think that is? Seduction, perversion, seduction and perversion. Remember this, Babylon. What are the first two? I would say the first two. I would say nah, not suffix. Mm, It could be that too if you really want to look, if you really want to know exactly what those two suffix means. Well, because it's still two words and put in one, Babi and Lon. Well, three words actually. It's Babylon. What are the first four letters? Baby. Baby. Why do you think it says in the last chapter, in the last verse, that the deception of marriage was used with sorcery, meaning bride's groom and bride? Because every time you get married, you're not married under the rulership of Yahuwah. You're married under the rulership of the council of this world. So everything when it comes to courtship, right? That's why when people get divorced, why? Why do you think there's even divorcing when we know that when we know as the heirs of our father's, you know, promise? Say it with me now. The heirs of our father's promise, right? Why do you think that it says that it's not a good thing? Because why? We are lied to. We are deceived. We are confused. But I don't speak these things into your life. I speak the life and I speak the truth into you. So for a lot of you that doesn't really know what I mean by this, right? And why I've said these things, right? Now, mind you, the beast, because look, Alice is a spirit of the kingdom and she has 7 heads, right? Now, in any type of species, what would you consider that? Some people might say a hydra, but they didn't reference us. They did not reference a dragon. They didn't reference a dragon. She ate blood, squealed. 7, and one of her extra hairs was the beast, making it 8. Octa, octo. Should I say the rest? And plus. But yes, mind you, and this is how you know that this is the seductive spirit, especially the spirit of like Jezebel, the spirit of Lilith, right? And all of these things because she controls a lot of them. And she controls a lot of them. Mind you, they say that she is nonchalant. And she has a lot of men, but no husband. But then at the same time, she's also not a widow. And she ruled over the kings of this nation. And the kings of this nation, what did they all do? They bow down and they worship the same one. They worship the same spirit, the marine spirit. Because a lot of people don't realize that there's more water than there is land on this earth, on the surface. There's more water in this specific realm than there is anything that you consider land. All the popes, the priests, a lot of them that are in the false churches that worship not Christ. They don't worship Yahuwah. They don't worship Elohim Adonai. Not all of them. They worship the marine spirit. That's why it spoke of the nations, how it took over the kings. Because the kings were the one that were the faces of all of the operations, giving access to these marine spirits and their merchandises and their products to be sold and exchanged upon this earth. Just saying, right? And for Ursula, right? For that octopus, right? She had two eels, which were what? Flotsam, and Jetsam. One was a gatherer, and the other was a scoper that controlled. I want you to look at these names backwards. A lot of people are doing numerology, right? But they forget that a lot of numerology has to do exactly with what words means. Meaning, a word, right? Words is exactly what created what? Numbers. It was because of the words that numbers was understood. Because the early founders understood numbers, but they did not call it numbers. They used it as actual words. The founders of languages, people that made our language. When people talk about the Enochian language, what do you think that is? Then you have the words like double casting, double spelling, double wording. Why do you think those things exist? There are levels to frequency. And frequency can be honed to one specific thing, to a sphere, right? And it can increase based on exactly what is holding onto it into its field. It can hold a whole lot. It can have more than one orbit. It can have a whole bunch of orbits. And these things would not really matter. You know? And these spirits, these marine spirits, they're seductive spirits. They're everywhere. And when I say everywhere, I mean everywhere. Like there's nowhere you can go in this world and you would not see them. And because we have technology nowadays, it makes it even 10 times worse. 10 times worse. And mind you, they're very conniving. So when you can tell when somebody has the spirit of the marine spirit, because all they do is being deceiving. That's all they do. Deceive. They're conniving and they're deceiving. So check yourself, ladies, because it's mainly in you guys. And of course, you men as well. Because a lot of you don't understand that some characteristics are feminine. Some characteristics are feminine. Arguing is feminine. Being prideful is feminine. Especially when you are a child of our Father. Pride is the worst enemy to actual redemption. It's one thing fighting for something that's good, but it's another thing fighting for selfishness. Because at the end of the day, What do you think is going to happen? You're going to realize you fought for nothing. You might lose everything, or you might lose something. Same thing goes for women. So please, take care. Love, respect to all of you. And I want you guys to all just think of what I've just told you and think about it very highly. And remember, I'm not the type of person to be like, you can't use none of the stuff that I give you. I just want you to understand that by you using me being on this platform and saying these things to you, because this is how this narrative between A and B works, right? So when you use other people's contents, right? I want you to use this content in the exact way that was given onto you. You can make your hypothesis if you want. I'm not saying give credit to me. I don't really need the credit. Give it to give it to our Father Elohim, right? But I would like for you, because I'm looking at the time over here, making sure that we're not too long. But I would like for you to use the narrative of what I've given you in the exact way. And if you have anything to add to it, please do, if it's going to make sense. But don't be out here lying to people. Don't be out here spreading your opinions. I just gave you suggestions. So if you do your research based on the suggestions that I give you, you're going to understand why I said it the way that I said it. There's not a lot of people that's going to say exactly what I'm telling you, because everybody that's out here in the world, there might be people that will tell you that I know this, I know that, but does that mean that it's coming from does that mean that it's coming from El Shaddai? Does it mean that it's coming from Adonai? Everybody can know something. Everybody can know the truth, but that don't mean that they got to tell you the whole truth. They can just tell you a truth for you to feel good about yourself. But that doesn't mean that it's the truth that's needed. There's a difference between a truth that's needed and a truth that people want to hear. Because a truth that people want to hear is still considered a lie. And the truth that's needed, that means it's something that's going to be helping people so they can actually edify, that they can grow. So when I speak to you guys about the stuff like marine spirits and all of this stuff, remember that these things are real. People think that you talk about a spirit like the seduction, like a seductive spirit. All of these things, nah, yeah, they exist, but there are missions. The marine spirits, there are different type of spirits that are in the marine spirit. She has 8 heads. One of them included the beast. So remember that everything that is like business, anything business related in this world is ran by her majority of the time, because even the name in the court system, when you go to a jurisdiction, when you go to the branch, when you go to the bank, all of these things are ran by the marine spirit. The seal that you see on the dollar bill, you see the imprint of their names on the bills. From the $5 bill to $1 bill, the $20 bill, the $50 bill, the $100 bill, all of their names, their signatures is on there. And the government makes sure that their signature is on there so that it cannot be counterfeit. Why do you think everything has a code? Everything has a chip. It's because the beast, the mark of the beast, will be imprinted and will be used as the currency. Listen to the words that I give you guys. A lot of pastors are not going to tell you none of these things because they don't have the true Holy Spirit. A lot of people don't know these things. Remember this: you don't live a life, right, unless you have to fight. And if you really have Christ in you and you have a purpose in life, you're going to fight a harder fight than everyone else. And there are people that are going to understand it, and there are people that are not. The things that are easy for everyone else will be hard for you, even if you do your best. And the reason is for that is because your purpose is destined for greatness. So for all of you out here that continue to, watch my videos, I thank you for joining me today, for putting in the comments any questions that you have, because a lot of what I know, trust and believe, it's not just coming. I'm not just having dreams and just, I'm not just making these stuffs in my head like I'm delusional. No, these things are real because half of the stuff that I know, I had dreams about. And then as soon as I have a dream about, think about something just happening right there and then. Like it's real. All of these things are real. They are real. It's not even a joke. Because one day everybody can be smiling and the next day everything can come crumbling down in destruction. And no man knows the time or the day or the hour. Everybody is having fun, living a life of nothing but sin and lust. But it's not going to change nothing. It's not going to change anything. So that's why I got to give you these words. Because who knows when my father is going to call me back. I might be here for a long time. I might be here for a short time. But I'm not going to be here forever. Especially not in this flesh. And if it is where I may be renewed through the flesh, trust and believe. Like I said, a lot of the 144, we are the guardians of the rest of these people because there's nothing else that needs to be said. We are the guardians of this earth. As of right now, physically, we are the physical guardians of this earth. That is our job. I'm not saying me, but if I am, you know what I mean? But no, we are the guardians of this earth. Do not let these people trick you. Do not let them trick you because they don't know any better. And some of them, they know better and they choose death because they rather have money. They rather have influence. They rather have people back them up rather than just staying in truth and not having nobody at all. Everybody want to be loved. It's understandable. But you have the difference between good love and bad love. People that are showing you good love and they mask it and it's fake. You have a difference between good love and fake love. Good love is genuine. Bad love and fake love is not genuine. So be wary of who you hang around and who you show your love to because your heart is also important to you. Do not let people in your boundaries and do not let people steal your energy. I don't care who it is. The moment you go into the disagreement against what my father has put in life, trust and believe, I don't have to, I will not listen to you. When I'm told to do something, trust and believe, I will do exactly what I'm told to do. And it's not by people. Yes, you might get an order, right, from a messenger, meaning, yeah, that means that, El Shaddai might have give somebody a message to give to you. But at the end of the day, before you're given a message, you're given reassurance that you will receive a message. That's how usually that works. You don't just get a message out of nowhere. You're given reassurance that you will receive a message from the Most High. That's how that works. Everything that our Father does, He does it with reassurance, meaning even when His glory is to be shown, meaning through a miracle, He gives you reassurance that is going to happen before it even happens. He's going to give you hints. He's going to give you clues. He's going to show you something before He does. That's how he works. The devil is the only one that do things mysteriously. He do things randomly. Everything that Yahuwah does, he does it and he shows us. Because even Christ said that our Father, once you are loyal to him, he will show you what the mysteries of his work, the mysteries of his kingdoms, meaning he would never hide nothing from you. He would never hide nothing from you. So when you think that a pastor or a preacher or a minister or an apostle or a saint can say something to you that your father has not already shown you, it's not true. All they're doing is literally saying anything to you that they said to 20 people before you. I'm also going to give you guys one more powerful tip. You also got to remember that there are people out here that are using witchcraft so they can see in the spirit of things that you cannot see. So they can give you an understanding of something that is true. But that does not mean that it's coming from Yahuwah. That doesn't mean that it's coming from the Most High. It doesn't mean that it's coming from our Creator. Just because they said that this and that and that. Yes, it could be true, but does not mean that that's who told them that. That's just because they can see it in you. There's a difference between somebody seeing something in you and somebody being told something of you. There's a difference. Seeing something in you, meaning that they can see the light in you, they can see the glory, they can see the grace in you. But there's a difference between seeing the grace and seeing the light in you, right? And also being told of your light and of your grace. So when you're told of your light and of your grace, you already know. Because 9 out of 10, you might not know everything, but you know something about yourself that was already shown to you. If you are loyal to the Most High, if you're loyal to our Creator, He will never hide nothing from you. It doesn't matter what it is. So I leave you guys with these words. Abundance to you, wisdom, discernment, and take my words to consideration and do your own research, because I said a lot of things to you guys that a lot of people would not say. So I want you guys to do your research, and I want you guys to send me any type of questions, any comments, and if you want to use the content, please use it wisely and state the actual narrative of your actual decision and not just run off with ideas, because I give you these things so that you can understand as to why I'm saying these things. Like I said, everything has to meet a condition. And I'm saying these things out of love. And as for the love that I give is abundantly to all of you, for the women, for the men, for the children, for the animals, for all things that has been created with abundance of love and mercy and grace. Because like I said, I cannot give you anything and charge you for it. If I was given this information for free, why would I charge anybody anything that I'm given for free? I will be just like everyone else that is a sin, that is doing that are sinners. I will be just like the sinners. I'm not saying I don't sin, I don't do anything wrong, but I'm just saying I will be just like everyone else that's literally making everybody pay for things that are good for them. That's why people are dying, because we no longer have sympathy for each other. We rather have money. We rather have people look at us like we're gods. We rather have people tell us that we're better than each other. I don't care for all of those things. I was not born in this world to be like everyone. I wasn't born in this world to run a rat race like everyone. It's not my job. That's why all of a sudden things are starting to change in my life, and people are noticing that. People are understanding that things are no longer the same, and there's a moment that things will shine, that people will no longer have anything to know. Everything has a time, everything has a purpose. So be of your time and know your purpose. Shalom to all of you, and love and peace.